What's up guys, Bondi here. Hope everybody's doing well, staying safe, staying healthy. Today I want to talk about drop shipping, owning a drop shipping coffee roasting company, as well as review Vintage Coffee Shop. This has been a long time coming, so today's the official review of Vintage Coffee Shop. Jeffrey Siders reached out to me. We've been talking back and forth and ultimately ended up sending each other coffee. I still have to send him his coffee, but he just wanted me to taste it, give him some feedback, review it, give him a shout out on here. It has been a week and a half, let me tell you what. And I don't mean like 10 days, I mean like last week was so busy. So much has been happening, all revolving coffee. So I have a lot of updates coming, a lot of things to talk about. I have been taking so many videos, but just haven't had time to do anything with them. So there is a lot coming, a lot of good stuff. I'm gonna be able to touch on a lot of new topics. One thing right here, a little plug, the merch. This stuff, sweet. This is our new embroidered crew neck. All of this stuff I'll talk about. Our website is coming, it's underway. I mentioned it in a video that I made that I haven't uploaded yet. So technically this is the first you're gonna be hearing about the video, or sorry, the website. But just know there's a lot coming, and I mean a lot. I can't emphasize that enough, a lot. So stay tuned. I know there's a lot of people who have been checking back in pretty consistently, a lot of people who look out for these videos because of the topics I talk about. I dive in pretty deep, and there's a lot of interest in starting your own coffee roasting company. So I just try to provide a platform where I can give advice from experience and also some of my background in business, getting my MBA, that kind of stuff. So marketing, all of that, advertising, finances, which I don't talk about too much, but there is some of that in there. So with that being said, I'm gonna go make some of this coffee and then we'll dive right into the video. Jeffrey, that's good stuff right there. That is good stuff. I'll review this just real quick. Also, hold on. I hope I got the look of your image. I tried to make that video a little bit more to fit the Vintage Coffee Shop look and vibe and everything. So Jeffrey, tell me how I did. Just go ahead, comment it. I don't care. You know, you could bash it. I just want the people to see the truth. So if I killed it, say so. If not, put it in. It's okay. Still working on my videography skills. So I got this coffee from Jeffrey. It is called the Cowboy Blend. It's a medium dark blend. Let me tell you what, it's dark, that's for sure, but I am impressed by the fact that this coffee holds on to the subtle notes that you find in medium blends, and that's more of those caramelized sugars, and there's some sweetness to it. Obviously you start verging on low acidity the darker you get. There's no acidity. It's very smoky too, so it's got a lot of that roast in it, and that's definitely the dark side of it, but it does hold on to those medium notes. Like I said, the sweet, the caramelization of the sugars, like some of those caramely vanilla type notes that you get when you have a medium coffee. Great job with that. His roaster's fantastic. This was a really good one. I haven't had any of his other coffees, but I would be happy to try them all because this is a very good coffee. So Jeffrey, well done, sir. People, go check him out, vintagecoffeeshop.com. Give him some love, okay? Like I said, we're all in this business together. I like to help you guys out. All I ask in return is that you help me out. For instance, launching this website is gonna be something that maybe you're not in the position to buy coffee or any sort of merchandise, stickers, mugs, any of the things that we have to offer, which is a lot, and we'll get into that, but even just sharing it once it's actually out, like, I'm happy to do these kinds of things for anybody who wants it. So if you reach out, want me to review coffee or your website or anything, like, just let me know. I'm happy to do it. All right, now that I have this treasure to sip on for the rest of the video, today I want to talk about drop shipping. It is super popular amongst all businesses. E-commerce, drop shipping is everywhere. It's taken over a lot of things, and now we're seeing it in the coffee industry. It's not uncommon to see people who own drop shipping coffee roast companies. Drop shipping coffee roasting companies. That's a mouthful. So I want to break it down and kind of talk about how that works. I want to talk about my subjective pros and cons because I don't want to steer anybody away from anything and I don't want to push anybody towards anything. I'm going to talk about how they work and how I feel about the way that they work. So let's get right into it. Essentially what happens is in drop shipping, you don't keep any sort of inventory on hand. Okay, when somebody purchases something from your store, which is typically a website, it is fulfilled by a third party and shipped directly to the consumer, customer, person who pays you money. So how does this all done? Essentially, you have to pick out the roaster that you want to be the one supplying your customers coffee. You want to make sure that they have good coffee, they have good options, they have a fairly easy process when it comes up to setting your labels and everything. When it comes to your bags, like how that all works, you want to make sure that they have good costs for you so that your profit margins are reasonable. You need to make money if you're trying to operate a business. So I would actually love to get feedback from somebody that's done this. I know they don't provide websites, so you have to make your own website, but the labeling process is something that I'd be curious to get a little bit more insight on, because I know for a fact if I was running my coffee roasting company as a dropshipping company where I let people use me as their roaster, I definitely would limit the options, like significantly. I would say, here are the coffees you can choose from. Here is the label type that we have. We'll print them for you, or you could have your labels like printed elsewhere and sent to us. I'm not sure exactly how that works, but it's hard enough to do it for one, like your own. So to handle this for a lot of people, I feel like you would have to severely limit the number of options these people have or what all they could do, just so that you can manage it. And that brings me to con number one. Now, if you've seen the last video I posted, the branding and marketing part one, which a lot of people liked, and there's gonna be a part two where I get real specific on the things that I've done. I mean, why this logo? Why this guy? Why the embroidered merchandise versus non? Everything I do has a purpose. My website, everything. And I'm actually gonna go through my whole website, and it's not public yet. You guys are gonna get to see it before everybody, and I'm actually going to go through and critique myself and talk about why things are the way that they are. So you're limited on what you can do when you're operating through a third party. If I wanna constantly be changing my label, like I said in the first video, branding and marketing part one, you're going to be. It's going to change so much over time, and it should. I mean, you should grow, and when you grow, your logo should grow with you. It should grow to show people that you've come a long way. I mean, your first logo should be far different from your last logo. I mean, this last logo or your final logo that you use for a while should be far better than the first logo. I mean, again, unless by some grace or miracle you got the first one absolutely perfect, it's gonna be better at the end. So as far as changing labels, providing different options, different looks, different colors, all of these kinds of things, you're gonna be limited when you're doing a dropshipping company, because you're not gonna be able to just sit here and continuously communicate to your roaster, oh, I changed this label, or I changed this aspect of this label. Or if you do, you're gonna have to order them, send them off to them. However you do it, you're now adding one more piece of the puzzle that has to fit correctly. And it's just gonna take more time for you to get everything sorted out, any changes, anything. So if you were happy with the label you have, the logo you have, the look and everything, and you're like, I'm good, I don't wanna change anything, I'm ready to rock and roll, find yourself a drop shipper. Find yourself somebody that'll roast your coffee for you and get your business moving. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. All I'm saying is, me personally, I changed mine so much and so frequently, and just really small adjustments that it would have been a headache for me to constantly communicate, hey, I made changes to my label, like I need to send you more labels, or you need to print different labels, like here's a new file for you to print, format and then print. It's just I feel like a headache, or it could be a headache, so it's something to look out for. Now, you might not be in the position to roast coffee. You might not want to roast coffee. You might just want to be somebody that sells coffee because you think it's a hot commodity and that you could make some money off it. Looking at it that way, I hate to be throwing all these cons out there, but anytime you add somebody along the supply chain from very beginning to the consumer, you want to minimize the steps or the hands that have to play a role in that process to get it to the consumer. Each step along the way, you're going to be losing profit, okay? Because you have to pay somebody, there's going to be some sort of material cost, And that's just gonna start to accumulate the more and more steps that are involved in the process. So if you wanna start drop shipping coffee, you have to understand your margins probably aren't gonna be high. I buy directly from an importer. I buy my green coffee beans directly from the importer. I don't have to pay myself for the service of roasting. So when I roast my coffee, my profit comes in my product. So when I sell it, I'm really able to keep my costs low so that when I price my coffee, my profit margins are huge. And that's a big benefit of roasting your own coffee. And if you have no interest in roasting your own coffee, then I understand that. You might not be in the coffee industry. You might not understand coffee. You might not love coffee the way that some of us do and have that passion, that want to roast. You also might not have the financial means to buy a roaster, but like I've said in many videos, there's tons of ways to roast coffee. And I actually just had somebody reach out. I don't remember her Instagram handle exactly. Madison, I think her name is. I'll put it here. She is starting a coffee roasting company, and she's starting it with a popcorn popper. So I'm 100% gonna be checking back in with her, but anybody could go on Amazon or to a Walmart, a Target, whatever, and buy a popcorn popper. I mean, they're not expensive. You could roast coffee and then at least to get yourself started. And then maybe once you start selling coffee, you just kind of take back some of that money and you put it into a slightly bigger roaster. And now you can buy some for like $150. So the cost isn't that great. I think you're gonna have just as much of a startup cost working with a dropshipper or third-party roaster that you would if you bought your own roaster. Again, nothing wrong with it. I'm just saying keep in mind that your profit margins are probably gonna be smaller. This brings me to my third point. When you're using a third-party roaster or dropshipper, you're going to be at the mercy of what they offer. And if they provide this service, that means they provide this service for a bunch of people. And I'm not a huge fan of dark coffees, usually. I use it as an indicator of what coffees I think are really good, because if I can drink a dark coffee, or if I really enjoy a dark coffee, that means it's a good dark coffee. And this one is medium dark, so it's not totally dark. So when you're using a third-party roaster or dropshipper, they offer a certain number of coffees, a certain number of combinations, and maybe they don't even offer combinations. It's just certain blends, like pre-made blends that they offer, and then single origins that they offer, but you can't like mix and match. And maybe you can with some, but for the ones that you can't, or even the ones that you can, you have to keep in mind, you're using the same dropshipper as other people who are using this dropshipper. I'll stop calling him a dropshipper, he's a roaster. He, she, they, doesn't matter. Okay, the roaster. You're using the same coffee roaster as probably a lot of people, or a decent amount at least. In which case, that means you're potentially offering, well not potentially, probably most of the time, you're offering the same coffee as a lot of different coffee businesses. And so you can't really go out there and say, my coffee's better than all these other people, because your coffee is the same as a lot of these different businesses. And now, again, I don't know if there's certain coffee roasters or third-party roasters that let you mix and match your own coffees. But all I can say is if they don't, you 100% have the same coffee as a lot of different people. If you can mix and match, well then, depending on how many options they have, you probably will have a unique blend. And if I was gonna do drop shipping for people, then I would definitely let them pick their own blends and mix their own coffees and just offer a very wide variety. As crazy as it might get, I think you're gonna hold on to the quality and uniqueness of coffee, which is, I think, what makes it so awesome and such a journey and such a thing. But as of right now, I don't do that, as of right now. The thing to think about there is that if you do roast your own coffee, the likelihood of you having the same coffee as somebody else, it's gonna be one in a billion, because the other thing with a roaster that roasts for a lot of different people is he probably has a pretty set way that he roasts, meaning he's gonna roast his coffee fairly similar. To one roaster, a medium is a medium to them, and there's definitely objective measures or objective standards, but the way that I roast coffee, medium to me is medium to me, and medium dark to me is medium dark to me. I mean, if you have the spectrum of city, city plus, city 2 plus, full cities, full city plus, full city 2 plus, to French or Vienna, and to like extra Vienna, extra French, really, really dark. Everybody has their own indicators of like, oh, this smells like it's a medium right now. This looks like it's a medium right now. And my temperature is telling me that I'm in that range of medium, but there's so much variance, especially when you want to talk about from one roaster to another. However, if you just one roaster, he's gonna have his own indicators, and he's gonna have his own like, okay, to me this is medium, I'm gonna stop. So your medium blend is going to be the same as this guy's medium blend, because the same roaster is gonna pretty much be hopefully consistent in the way that he roasts his coffee. So my medium might be different. And so my medium coffee is gonna be slightly different, even if it's the same coffee from the same lot. Now the chances of us offering that, probably slim. The blends that I have sometimes have 3 different coffees in them. So I guarantee you that the odds are very unlikely that somebody's going to have the same 3 coffees in the same proportions at the same roast that I do, which is why I can go out there and say, my coffee's unique. Try it, it's different. It's gonna be a new flavor for you, something you haven't probably tasted. So I'm gonna stop talking bad about dropshipping because there's nothing wrong with it. I just think that it's important that you think about these things. The pros of dropshipping, it's easy, okay? It requires very little work for you, so it's not labor intensive. You're probably not gonna have to spend as much money up front to get things rolling because you don't have to have a roaster, you don't have to have a grinder, you don't have to have all of the equipment necessary to actually roast and produce the coffee. All you have to do is pay for the bags, the labels, the coffee itself, and the labor. That's gonna be kind of an as it goes basis, right? That's like a per order basis. So you don't really pay until other people pay, in which case you're not really paying. So you will definitely have a lower upfront cost. However, I think in terms of growth, third-party roasters or dropship roasters are not the way to go because it's definitely gonna limit your ability to be adding new elements to your labels, new coffees to your lineup, new bags, different bag look, different aspects of your website. I mean, you can only change your website to fit how your business is changing. And if your business can't really change that much, your website's not gonna change that much. And so you're not gonna be able to really have that growth of look in your brand and marketing, and all of that's gonna be hard to kind of grow and have this nice flow of, look at where it started and look at where it is now. And again, look at my last video. Like, I had paper, I had hand-drawn labels. And now my labels are professionally made and professionally printed. So I can put those 2 together and go, look at this. When you're working with a dropship roaster, you're gonna be more like, this was the option I was given to start with, and I don't really have any new options. Maybe you've changed your label a little bit, but you're still gonna have to make it fit what they're offering. That's my only thing, is your growth is limited. Any business that you get into, you should be thinking 10 years down the road, 5, 10 years, like, where do I want this to really be? I don't think anybody wants to start a business and go, I just, you know, if it just stays where it is, it's fine, as long as I'm not losing money. Like, no, I wanna make money.
I wanna make a lot of money.
I wanna take this so far that people in Hong Kong know about my coffee company. And that's what I think everybody should be, because at that point, then you're really gonna be putting everything into it. It's gonna be satisfying. It's gonna be a nice venture. And I just think people get caught up in this mindset of, you know, if it fails, it fails. And I think people are afraid to fail. And the farther you reach, the bigger the failure is gonna be. And I think that's something that you need to just get rid of. Like, don't be afraid to fail. I don't want this to be a motivational video. We're talking about dropshipping coffee. So let's keep it on topic. I'm gonna wrap it up here now. I don't know if I covered everything. I'm doing this just off the top of my head. I don't have any notes or anything on dropshipping. I just know the industry well enough to know roughly how it works. I know enough people that utilize this kind of business model to know how it works. And so I just wanted to address some of my thoughts and opinions on it. I think it's a great model for a lot of people, okay? Don't think that I wanted to bash dropshipping coffee roasting companies, which is still so wordy. I don't. I think it's an excellent service. I think it's something that a lot of people can really benefit from, especially just getting started out. By all means, do your research. Just make sure you're using good roasters, reputable roasters, that you actually like the product. Don't just jump into something because it's easy. That's my only thing. Also, the growth is gonna be limited. If you're like somebody like me who wants to just
never stop, keep going, always grow.
Hashtag anything you want, like no days off, whatever. If you're somebody like that and you want to see your business grow using your own hands, having control of everything, you're not going to want to use a third-party roaster. So if you're thinking about it, I say wait until you have the funds to start your own, wait until you have the experience to start your own, the mindset, the capability, wait. Don't get into a drop shipping just because I don't think you're going to be happy with it, and you're going to have spent a lot of money that you could have otherwise been putting into the cost for you to start your own business. Jeffrey, thank you again for the coffee. Everybody, please, vintagecoffeeshop.com. Go look at his website. Check him out. Give him feedback. We're all here to help each other. That's what I want it to be. I make these videos solely for the purpose of trying to give people relevant information that they can take and use to start their own coffee roasting company, or maybe help them. They've already started, but they're kind of at a sticking point. Again, go check him out, leave reviews, buy some coffee, anything helps. I'm sure he would agree. Doesn't matter what you do, just give him some recognition. So that's it for the video today. Again, a lot is coming, and I really do mean it. A lot is coming. I know I try to post videos every week, but this one was a little bit late. Probably like 10 days or so. I posted the branding and marketing part 1 video, and I'm going to have another one, part 2, and I promise you it's going to be just as insightful, if not more. Be on the lookout for that. Also, all of this stuff coming it's super exciting. If you're still watching this video, if you've made it to the end, I'm gonna be offering exclusive deals for these people when my website launches, okay? And that's on everything. That's on the merchandise, that's on the coffee, that's on our mugs, everything. So there's a lot to come, a lot of content, a lot of good information for people who might be in a similar situation as me or a similar position, ready to take that next step, ready to add something to their lineup, a new coffee, a new blend, a new type of coffee, a new way to brew coffee, like all of these things. Keep checking back in. I'm gonna be trying to get more consistent, but, well, this is awkward. My camera just cut off at the end of that video, so I'm here editing it, seeing for the first time that my camera stopped. All I had left to say was, I hope you enjoyed it, I hope you learned something, and see you in the next video, but I didn't get to do that. So I'm here just drafting the lease for a new place, spoiler alert. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed it, I hope you learned something, and I'll see you in the next video. Probably look like a freaking crazy person right now. Too early for this.